Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank you so much for joining me today for another general overview and Nimble mobile overview. My name is Michaela Andradal and I'm Nimble's community manager. Today we will go through the entire application and then I will also be sharing my screen of my phone. So I will preview our mobile app. I will be showing it on my iPhone, but it's also available on Android. So if you're just in the trial of Nimble or if you haven't downloaded it yet, if you have Android or iPhone, you can download it and check out all the features. And I will also make sure that I will cover all our add-ins. So I'll be showing Nimble inside of Gmail, Outlook, and also our browser plugin that will allow you to use Nimble outside of Nimble, meaning on any type of um, social media side, and also any website or company site. And before we get started, I want to cover what Nimble is. So Nimble is an easy-to-use CRM that works for you in Office 365, in G Suite, and everywhere else you work. And what we mean by that is that once you download our browser extensions, you will be able to use it inside of social media, inside of any third-party application like MailChimp, Xero, QuickBooks Online. You can use it on any social site, any company site to either create new contact records, add them to Nimble, and then set up the next steps like tasks, follow-ups, create deals, or also you will be able to access your existing contacts. So without having to leave the place where you're already working, you will be able to get everything done from there. Nimble automatically combines your contacts, communication histories, email inboxes, and calendar appointments into one easy-to-use platform. And it also integrates with social media, like I already covered, and with almost 200 different software as a service applications. So you can go into networks and imports inside of Nimble, click on contacts, and then you'll be able to either go through an entire list of all the integrations, all the applications that we integrate with, or you'll be able to type the one you're specifically looking for in there, and we will show you the integration. And the way it works is that we have partnered with a company called PySync that specializes in bidirectional data synchronization. They give all our users 14-day free trial. During the trial, you will be able to bring all your data in for free. So there's no limit. So it's especially very useful for people that are transitioning from a different CRM or just getting started. So if you have various different applications from which you would want to bring your contacts into Nimble and don't want to go through the traditional CSV export and import, you can utilize PySync for this. If you would like to use PySync to keep these one or multiple of these applications in sync with Nimble, you can also use it for free if you would be syncing less than 2,000 contacts per month per user. If you go over that, there would be a charge associated with that, and you can find that on PySync's pricing page. Our next training webinars, so we do these every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific or 1 p.m. Eastern. And we also do a special webinar. So tomorrow we are hosting a webinar with a value proposition and sales expert, Lisa Dennis. It will be hosted by our CEO, John Ferrara. So if you're interested in learning about value propositions for your business and how to also possibly make a relevance pivot, she'll be talking all about how to make sure that whatever your company is offering is relevant in these crazy times. Feel free to join us. We will be sharing a link in the questions box. And next week, I will be covering contact organization and cleanup strategies. And the following week, on June 10th, I'll do another general Nimble overview and mobile overview. You can also go on nimble.com/company/webinars and sign up for the webinars that you're interested in. And here we are in Nimble. So when you first get started, you will probably go through our onboarding experience. And after you log in back, you will then land on the today's page. So I know that before this page even starts making a lot of sense, before it starts getting populated with data, we should make sure that everybody's set up. So if the onboarding experience already disappeared, you can always go in the top right corner here, click on this circle and then go into Networks and Imports. And make sure that you have connected your email account. So you can select from these. As I mentioned for Office 365, we have a one button connector, so you'll be able to connect your email, import your contacts, and also connect your calendar. So once you click on that, you should be able to log in with your Office 365 login and everything will be imported. For our Google customers, I mentioned that you will have to do 2 clicks, but really it doesn't take too much more time. So for connecting your Gmail, you can click here, select Gmail, log in with your Google credentials, it will get connected. And then if you want to connect your calendar, you would click here and select from Google Calendar. And once you have your emails connected, once you have your calendars connected, it's time to start thinking about bringing in your contacts. We make it pretty easy for people to import their contacts into Nimble, but I always like to recommend maybe first having a short meeting or just thinking about all the different places from which you would like to bring your contacts into Nimble from. And also if you would like to possibly do any type of cleanup before you do that, because as you probably know, if you've used any CRM databases before, if you really keep the data clean, it's much more likely that you and your team will continue to use it and actually, most importantly, enjoy using it. So before you start importing your contacts, maybe create a list of all the different places where your contacts reside. Do you have different spreadsheets in your business? Do you have LinkedIn connections that you would like to bring in? Do you have Twitter connections, individual ones, personal ones, and also would you want to bring in any Twitter contacts that maybe are followers of your brand's Twitter account? And also, would you want to integrate Nimble with any accounting system or maybe email marketing automation system? So once you have that list, then it would also be good to think about, is there a way for me to separate these contacts into lists and only bring specific lists into Nimble? And once I decide on those, how would I want to organize them? So in Nimble, you can organize contacts using tags and also custom fields. Organizing them by tags is super easy. Everybody on your team will be able to create new and update existing tags. Custom fields, you can first create, and then everybody on your team will be able to see them on individual and company contact records. So that's also a really great way to organize your contacts. So it's also a good idea to maybe think about some sort of a naming structure when you're bringing in tags into Nimble, and especially in regards to importing Google or Outlook contacts. If you decide to ask your entire team to bring in their Google or Outlook contacts, maybe you could ask them to name the tag similar way. So it could be Outlook contacts and then their initials or their first name, just so when everybody's reviewing specific contact records in Nimble and they're looking at the different tags, they know exactly why they were brought in and who brought them in. This will also help you if you ever need to clean up the database. If you, in 6 months, review the tags and you'll see that you have hundreds of them and most of them don't even make sense to you. This will really help you to pick those that maybe you can delete or use to clean up your database. So I kind of covered a few different ways how you can bring your contacts into Nimble. So one of them is using our CSV import. So if you're bringing in data from various different applications, there's usually a way for you to export your data into a CSV file, especially if you're transitioning from a different CRM. So then you can just click on the CSV button, upload the CSV file into Nimble. You choose the file to upload. And as you can see, Nimble also gives you the opportunity to save mapping. So if this is something that you feel like you might be doing on regular basis, it might be worth to save the mapping so you don't have to do any manual mapping going on. We also have default data sources that we have identified, so it's worth taking a look, especially if you might be transitioning from a different CRM or if you're importing from LinkedIn. We already know what these files look like, so this could really save you time. Or you can just skip it. Nimble will analyze it, and if we don't identify the columns in your spreadsheet, we will give you the option to map it manually. So in this instance, this would be first name. So you can just start typing it in here and tell Nimble to map it this way. You can also create custom fields from here or select from any existing ones. So now let's go back to networks and imports. So this is a way how you can import a CSV file. You can also bring them in from LinkedIn. So they would also be via a CSV file. The reason why we don't have a direct button that you can use to import LinkedIn data is that Nimble made a business decision a few years ago that they won't allow CRM applications to directly integrate with them. So right now you can only download your CSV file with your LinkedIn connections and then import it into Nimble. And you can also use our browser extension Nimble Prospector to bring them in one by one. And I will also show you a little later today. Another way to bring in contacts into Nimble is using our partner pricing. So here's the list I mentioned at the beginning of today's session. You can go through it and see if there's the application you want to sync with Nimble, or you can just start typing it here. And then you would be able to set up rules. So this will really help you to clean it up and only bring the contacts that you really want to have in Nimble in, and also set up tags. So it would work on if this, then that principle. So it could be if this contact is on this specific list, then bring it into Nimble and also apply this specific tag to it. And last thing I wanted to cover is that we do actually have a direct integration with Twitter. So if your company is utilizing Twitter to communicate with your prospect and customers, or if you're using Twitter for managing your personal brand, you can import contacts directly from Twitter. One thing to remember is always thinking about, do I really need all the contacts that I can easily import to Nimble and Nimble? So I would actually recommend not importing all of them, because not everybody that follows you is your prospect or your customer. So we give you the option to pick. You can pick friends, that means you follow each other, or you can just import your followers, or if you are using Twitter lists on Twitter, you can also bring in specific Twitter lists. And then always, 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 when you're importing any contacts, tag them so you and anybody else on your team knows who they are, what they were brought in, who imported them. And so you can also use the tags to segment your database and clean it up. So I think we covered how to connect our emails, our calendars, and also import contacts. If you have any questions regarding this, please type it in the questions box and I'll go back to it at the end of today's session. We also changed the way you can review your billing information and the status of your account. So you can click on billing in the menu here on the left side. If you're interested in learning about your account status, how many licenses you're utilizing, how much storage you are using, how many contacts you have in your database, how many enrichment credits you're using, or how many group messages you are utilizing, you can go to account status. If you'd like to add new users to Nimble, you can go to manage users. You can add additional licenses here and then click on this plus sign button next to invite users and just type in the new team members you want to add, and you can separate them by commas. The account administrator will also have the option to give out permission. So not everybody on your team might be able to bulk export and bulk delete. And this is a great precaution to employees leaving and taking your entire database with them. So you can delegate permission to individual Nimble users. You can also restrict some of them from creating and renaming pipelines. And you can also delegate deal privacy. So you can make it that people can only view all deals in your system, or they can view and edit all of them, or they can view and edit only their own. And we will also cover this in the deal section. So let's go back to today page. Now that we have connected our emails, calendars, and imported contacts, this page will be populated with data and will make more sense. So this page can be completely customizable. The intention of this page is to make it easy for every team member, depending on their role in your company, to see exactly what is it that they need to get done that day. What are the most important things on their plate? So you can completely customize it. You can move these widgets around by clicking on Manage Widgets here. So if you want to have tasks first, you can drag and drop. You can also click on Add or Remove Widgets here. And if you know for a fact that some of them are not relevant to you, for example, if you're not in sales, you might not need the deals widget here. You can deselect it and then click on Save, close settings here, and then make sure that you're only seeing the ones that are important to you. So in regards to tasks, this is where you will be able to see everything that is on your to-do list, all the open tasks or the upcoming ones, those that are overdue, those that have been completed, marked as important, or those that have been delegated to your team. You can also see a pipeline chart for your pipelines. You can see the stage funnel. Nimble offers multiple deals pipelines, so you can either see just your deals, or you can see your team deals, or just pull up a specific pipeline. You can also view your individual deals here. You can create a new one straight from here and select which calendar you want to see here. Nimble also offers email tracking, so you can see how people are interacting with your emails, if they're clicking on the links you included, and so on. Nimble gives you the opportunity to set up stay in touch reminders for each person and company in Nimble, so then you will see who exactly you need to follow up and when in this widget. We also offer signals from Twitter here. So if you are not using Twitter for your business at all, this might be one of the widgets that you would want to hide. So that's the today page. Now we can move into contacts. This is probably the tab where you will be spending most of the time, because after all, Nimble is a contact database. So you can see all your contacts, just people, just companies, those people that you have marked as important. So this is an easy way to create a list, and you do so by clicking on this star that is available next to each contact record inside of Nimble. You can also see those that have been recently added, recently contacted, those that you set up a stay in touch reminder for. And we also created a folder for removed contacts. So if you or anybody else on your team deleted some contacts that they didn't mean to delete permanently, they'll be here. And the account administrator has the option to set up the timeline. So how long do you allow the deleted contacts to stay in this folder? So you can either wait for them to get past that setup time and they will be deleted permanently automatically, or you can always come here, either restore them or delete them permanently from here. Also pay attention to the table settings here, because you can customize the columns that you are seeing here. So if you're sorting your contacts and you want to make sure that you are only focusing on the fields in Nimble that are important for the purpose of the segmentation, you can move these around, or you can click here and select from any other field that you might want to see here. Nimble also offers segmentation. You can launch it by either clicking in the search box here, or you can also click on Add Segment here. This will allow you to segment your database on any existing fields, including any custom field. So as you open it up, you will see these, what we call quick filters. These are just some of the filters you can use to segment your database on. And if you click on Add Filter on the left side here, you will be able to select from all the remaining ones, and again, including any custom fields you or anybody else on your team may have created. So I could create a group of all the people that I have an email for. So you can also use this to clean up your database. If you want to pull up all the people, all the empty contact records, you can use this search to do so. And then you could find all the ones whose emails are empty, not empty like in this example, and then also maybe add a few other fields to make sure that it's really just empty contact records. I also created some custom fields here, so I can also further refine this search by adding the account owner, Michaela. So these are all the people that I have email for, and also I am responsible for. I am the setup account owner. Once I have the search, you can continue to refining the search by adding filters. You can also create groups. So if you want, for example, a group of people that has been tagged with the tag active partner, and also people that you know you have emails for and the account owner is you, you can create such search as well, or it can be either. So you can also play with these fields here. Once I have a group of people, you can also select if you want Nimble to show you just companies, just people, or both. Once I have this search created, there's several actions I can take. I can save this as a segment, and the difference between a tagged group of people in Nimble and a saved segment of people in Nimble is that the saved segment will be dynamic. So every time a new contact record is added to your Nimble database, they match the criteria you set up for the saved segment, they will automatically be added there. So this can really save you a lot of time on recreating these filters, especially if you're creating lists of customers in certain location or with certain filters. You can utilize the save segments here. You can name it. Then they will show up on the main contacts page, and this will only be visible on your instance of Nimble. We will soon make these shareable, so if you create a search that you would like to share with your team, you will have the option to do so, but don't worry about creating searches and then messing up the contacts view for any of your teammates, because this will only be visible on your end. Another action you can take with a segmented list is that you can mark all of them as important. You can also set up a stay in touch reminder for them. You can tag them. If you identify duplicates, you can merge them. You can export it, delete it, and send them a group message. So the way group messaging works in Nimble is that the messages are sent from your email provider. So I connected my G Suite account. I also connected my Office 365 account. So depending from which one I want to email the group of people, I can select it from this drop-down menu. I can use a merge tag to help Nimble personalize it. And then create the message here. The difference between sending the message from group message from inside of Nimble and, let's say, a marketing automation system is that the message is sent via Nimble's group messaging will be sent from your email provider. So the advantage is that nobody on the list will know that they were part of an outreach, especially if you use the merge tags. If you use the segmentation to really create targeted groups of people, then you can really target the emails to. They will not know that there was another 100, 200, 300 other people on the list. If you're sending from marketing automation system, usually people are able to know that right away because those are templated, they look different, and it also doesn't look like it came from your personal email address. It usually says that it's been sent from constant contact 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The, let's say, disadvantage of the group messaging, in case you are not using marketing automation system yet, or you're thinking about dropping it, is that, and if you wanted to use Nimble to send out newsletter updates, you really won't be able to do that because we created the group messaging to work in conjunction with the segmentation and really use it to nurture your network and help you to reach out to people at scale, but not necessarily to send out newsletters. So if you're looking for beautiful templates, you might want to also use another marketing automation system together with Nimble. Using our pricing integration, you might be able to sync the data, but the group messaging was designed to help you segment lists and then target them individually and make it look like you are reaching out one-on-one to them. As you create emails in Nimble, you'll have the option to save it as a template to save time on retyping it in the future. Or if you've already created any templates, you can select from existing ones. Then before you send the email, you have the option to send yourself a test message, which is always a good idea to make sure that all the links you included work, there are no typos, and the email just overall looks good. Once you send it, in group messaging, you will be able to see the insights on the clicks and opens. So we'll tell you when was the last time people opened, how many times they opened, and if you include any links, you'll see how many times they clicked. I also want to show you what a contact record looks like in Nimble. So on the left side of a contact record, you will be able to see the first name and the last name of the person, their title, the company they work for. You can mark them as important, set up a stay in touch reminder, including a custom one. You can review their bio. You can create a note, log any past activity, which can be a task, it can be a calendar event, it can be a call, or it can be a custom activity. So the account admin will be able to create as many custom activities as your team might need. You can also schedule any future ones. You can set up the due date, assign it to yourself or anybody else on your team. You can relate it to deals, and you can also tag it. And these tags would be separate from the regular contacts tags. So this will help you to go through your activities list or your to-do list and get every single follow-up or every task that you need to get done. You can also send a message from here. So you can send an email, pick from which email you want the message to go out of. You can also pick from a template or save as a template. Type it here. If you copy and paste your signature in settings in Nimble, it will automatically be added to any message you will be sending from Nimble. You can also decide if you want to just send it or if you want Nimble to track it and then give you the insights on the clicks and opens. You can also create a deal from here. You can name the deal, set up the probability, expected close date, the amount, the primary contact, and add the participants. Participants can be internal and external. The only thing is that they need to have their own contact record inside of Nimble. So if you want to add participants that are your employees, just create a contact record for them in Nimble, and then you will be able to add as many of them as you need. You can put it in the appropriate pipeline into the appropriate stage, assign it to yourself or somebody else on your team, and set up the deal privacy. So some deals can be private, so only you will be able to see them and edit them, or you can make them public and then everybody on your team will be able to view and edit them, or they can be public but nobody will be able to edit them. You will be the only person with the rights to make any edits to that deal. You can also view the contact information. Use our contact discovery feature to find missing email addresses. So as long as you know the first name, last name, and the company or the company domain, Nimble will be able to find the emails for you. You can set up the lead details, and the individual fields here can be customized in settings. So the status, source type, and owner, this can all be customized. And you will be able to do that under settings and under custom fields. On the right side, under the Nimble contact record, under interactions, you'll be able to see everything that has been done with the person or the company and everything that is scheduled to happen. You can either go through the entire history under all, or you can go under activities and then even select a specific activity on the right side. You can also review notes. Notes are now searchable, so you can also type a keyword here. You can go through messages or deals specifically. This is where you will be able to view your custom data field you may have created. So Nimble gives you the opportunity to create up to 5 custom tabs. And under each tab, you will be able to create up to 200 individual fields. So this can really be anything depending on the type of your company, your business model, and so on. You can also attach files from Microsoft OneDrive, Google Drive, and Dropbox. Set up integrations, and if your contacts are active on social media, you will also be able to quickly review what they're all about on social media. Under activities in Nimble, under activities listing, this is where you will be able to either create to-do lists for yourself, or the individual managers will be able to report on the activities of the entire team. On the left side, you can select if you want to report on the activities of the entire team, or you can select specific people. And if you want to see, let's say, how many calls an individual sales rep performed during a specific time frame, you can all set it up here. You can also configure the tables so you are only seeing the columns that you're interested in. You can easily drag and drop them, or you can pin those that you always want to see on the first part of your screen on the left side. So if you always want to see how long they're spending on the phone or the phone number of the person, you can pin the fields here. Here we go. You can also save these filters so you don't have to recreate them in the future. And you can also export the activities. You can also create a new activity straight from here, including custom activities. Under deals, you can create as many pipelines as you want in Nimble, as long as you are the account admin or the account admin delegated the permission for you. So you can click on Customize Pipelines, either customize an existing one, you can rename it, you can rename the individual stages, you can drag and drop, you can edit them, set up the number of days you allow each deal to stay in each stage. You can add more stages, set up the amount ranges, or you can go back to pipelines and create a brand new one from scratch. Then once you've created the pipeline, you can either view it as a pipeline or in the list. So that's basically just dependent on your preference. Deals can be easily dragged and dropped. If you want to make any edits to an existing deal, you can just click into it, click edit, change the name, add a primary contact, set the amount, put it on different pipeline or into a different stage. So you can either drag and drop into a different stage or you can manually edit here. If you want to create a new deal, you can also do it from here. And under each deal, you will be able to see the history of interactions with everybody that has been involved in the deal. You can see the activities related to the deal, notes related to the deal, and you can also add attachments. So adding activity is possible here. Login notes here, and attaching forms is available on the right side here. You can also report on your deals in Nimble. You can report on all your pipelines. You can create a team report, or you can create a report for individual sales rep and also individual pipeline. You can play with the time frame here. You can also print it or save it as a PDF. On the dashboard, you will be able to see a little preview into either all your pipelines or individual ones, and same for your team. You can do the entire team report and kind of see how many new deals each rep has going on, how many active deals they have, how many deals they've won, depending on the time period you've selected here, and how many they have lost. Nimble allows you to forecast deals as well, and you can review your deals history as well. So that's the entire Nimble web version. I also want to make sure that we cover the add-ins. So like I mentioned already, we will give you the option to install it inside of your Outlook. So this is an Outlook for Mac, and it's the online version. So it looks slightly different on the web version and inside of the Outlook for desktop. I'll show you both options. So in the online version, after you install the add-in, Nimble add-in for Outlook, you'll be able to click on the three dots here, scroll down, select the Nimble browser widget. If you already have the contact in Nimble, Nimble will show you an existing contact record for the person. You'll be able to mark them as important, set up a stay in touch reminder. You can also add a note, create a task, create a calendar event, call them, create a deal, or set up calendar event straight from inside of your Outlook without having to stop responding to prospects and customers and interrupting your workflow. You can also edit the contact record straight from here. You can see all the contact information, create new and review existing tags, and see the history. So here we are in Outlook for desktop. It looks a little different here because you can see that we have a nice icon here. So every time you want to bring it up, you can just click on it. And again, if you already have the person in Nimble, Nimble will know that and give you the opportunity to just open it up. You can review existing tags, create new ones, review their social stream, see when was the last time you talked to them or when you're next scheduled to talk to them, if there are any tasks that you or anybody else on your team is responsible for, and so on. You can also see the information about the company the person works for. In Gmail, it will look very similar. We are just right now in the process of unifying the UI. So this is the brand new UI that we have on the browser extension and inside of Gmail. So Nimble will suggest you everybody that is involved in the conversation here. So this is my contact record. I can create a note, log any past activity, schedule new activity, send a message from here. I can create a deal. I can edit the contact record, view and edit any custom fields. So basically anything with the exceptions of creating pipelines, sending group messages, you can do from inside of these extensions. this is what the browser extension will look like that you can use on any website, in any third-party online application, and on any social media site. Once you plug it into your browser, it's available on Chrome, Firefox, Microsoft Edge, and we're fixing it for Safari. You'll be just able to bring it up, hover over any name that is a hyperlink, or you can highlight it if it's not hyperlink. And then Nimble will be able to either show you an existing record or help you create a new one. So here's an existing record that we have for Vivica. Sometimes when people have added something to their name on LinkedIn, like the pronunciation here, you will have to help Nimble to clean it up a little bit. It's very easy to do so like this. You can also upload a photo or select from existing ones. So as you can see, Nimble's already searching in the background for you for all the different places where these people are active on. So this will help you to add additional information to their contact record without you having to Google them and add the information manually. And then you'll also be able to pick from one of the pictures here. You can also qualify the people straight from LinkedIn without having to leave. And at the beginning, when I was talking about importing contacts from LinkedIn, I mentioned that you can also add them in one by one using the Nimble browser extension. So as you are accepting people into your network, you can also bring them in one by one just by hovering over their name or going into their profile and having Nimble help you create the contact records. If you have already created a tagged list for your LinkedIn connections, you can easily select from the existing one and add them to it. Just like this. I also want to show you how you can use the browser extension on a company website. Once you open it up, Nimble will know where it is and it will help you create a contact record for the company. Let's just go on Microsoft here. Let's bring it up again. Or you can manually search for it. And then find the existing contact record and add it to Nimble. So last thing I want to show you today is the mobile app. So here we are. When you first open it, you'll be on the agenda view. So you'll be able to quickly preview what's on your calendar. If you want to quickly preview any of the contact records, so let's say you are running late for a meeting, you want to see the history of the relationship with the people you're meeting with, you can quickly click into their Nimble contact record and see their experience, their title, their bio, their influence score. You can see what's pending. Is there a deal pending? Is there a task that you or somebody else on your team is responsible for? You can see the history of the relationship. Well, usually. Now my internet connection seems to be slow. You can also email them straight from here. You can use our templates and email tracking. So if you have a template for apologizing for running late, you can quickly select it from here. You can also dial them straight from here. After you finish the call on your phone, Nimble will display a message to you, kind of nudging you to log the call. So we will automatically track the email, the contact that you dialed. We will automatically track how long the call lasted, and we will give you examples of how you can log it in terms of the resolution of the call. Was it successful? Did you leave a voicemail? And so on. You can also create notes, create deals, or events, tasks, calls, and you can also use any custom activities. And if you need to share this contact record with somebody, if you need to edit it, delete it, or edit to your phone book in case you worry that you might not be able to access the Nimble app on the way, if you won't be connected to internet, you can save it to your phone book by clicking on the 3 dots in the top right corner. Under tasks, you'll be able to see all your upcoming ones, those that have been completed, those that have been starred or marked as important, and those that have been delegated. When you click on the plus sign button here, you'll also be able to create new ones. In the Contacts tab, this is where you can manually search for contacts, or you can preview those that you have recently viewed. You can also click here and see the categories. So all contacts, people, companies, marked as important, recently viewed, and so on. You can also easily access all your saved searches and all your tags. So you can either manually search, find from the list, or go under here and see if you want to go by a category, save search, or a tagged group. When you click on the plus sign button here, you can not only create a personal contact record or a company record, you can also use our business card scanner. So you can just take a picture of the business card and we will capture all the information like first name, last name, the company, and their contact information and help you create a company record just by scanning a business card. Under deals, this is where you can of course see all your deals, all your pipelines. You can also create new ones. And under more, this is where you can set up notifications you can view your email tracking. So how you can see the status of how people are interacting with your messages and update the notifications. And with that, I also wanted to make sure that I cover the special offer that we have today. So for new Nimble users, we will give you the option to register for a 30-day of trial for free. So you can go to nimble.com/offer/webinar30. And then after you create a Nimble trial, it will automatically be a 30-day trial instead of a regular 14-day trial. If you're already in trial and you're interested in getting the 30 days, please email us at care@nimble.com and we will make sure to extend it for you. And let me review questions now. Stephanie's asking if there's a workflow option. So not yet. That's something we want to build into Nimble, but for now we don't have any built-in workflows. And Jonathan's asking about email sequences capabilities, and that's also something that we will be adding in the near future, but we don't have that yet. Ron is asking, are you going to cover how to connect social media accounts to contacts so I can see their activity? Ron, so at this current moment, only Twitter has open API, so we are only able to directly integrate with Twitter. So if you are utilizing Twitter, you can go to Networks and Imports, scroll down to Social Networks, connect Nimble here, and then under each individual contact record, you will be able to see how people are interacting on social media, and you'll also be able to see your stream under signals. Ron's also asking, can you connect Outlook that is on an Exchange server? So only if it supports IMAP. So I would reach out to your email provider and check with them if IMAP is enabled, and if so, then you will be able to edit. If not, then unfortunately we currently don't support POP. If you need any help with connecting your Outlook, please let us know at care@nimble.com and we will look into it specifically. Ruben's asking, does it work with Office Outlook 2019? As long as it supports IMAP, it should. And again, if you need any help, we can look into it and help you out and guide you if you email us at care@nimble.com. John saying the CRM is big, trying to cover all the features, benefits makes it difficult to follow you because you have to go so fast. I would rather be smaller chunks that are more focused. Yes, we are aware of that. So we actually do these webinars during which we cover the entire thing, because we still do have a lot of requests from people that want us to cover everything, so they can kind of see, okay, this one worked for me, or yes, it might. And then every other week, I focus on a specific feature. So you can go on our YouTube channel and basically pick the webinar that you're interested in, because I've basically broken down every single feature inside of Nimble in the past, and I will also continue to schedule these in the future. So either go on YouTube, watch any of the recordings, or let us know in the survey that will pop on your screen after today's session which features you want us to break down, and we will put it on the schedule. Ron's also asking, can you use Apple Calendar to migrate to Nimble? So you will be able to connect it on your phone and use it with the mobile app. So it will sync on the mobile app, but not currently on the on desktop. Keith's asking, how do we keep our private contacts private? Example, not sharing with our colleagues. Some we want to share, but others we don't. Great question. This is something we are currently working on. It should be available in the next few months. Currently, all your contacts will be shareable and across the entire Nimble team, so you won't be able to hide them. The good thing is that when you connect your emails, all your emails are marked as default, marked as private by default. So when your team members go under interactions, under individual contact record, they won't be able to see your messages unless you make sure that you unlock them. But in the next few months, we will give you the option to mark certain contacts as private. Jonathan's asking, my question wasn't about sequencing email, most often to make a phone call to follow up after an email page. So you will just have to set it up manually. So we don't have any automation that would allow you to set up, tell Nimble to follow specific sequence for a specific group of contacts and so on. It basically set it up for you. Everything would have to be set up manually. So if you wanted to follow up after an email page, you would have to go under each individual contact record and basically schedule the activity. So it could be a task. And then set up the due date, assign it to either yourself or somebody else on your team. Jeffrey, how much history and opportunity info does Nimble import from ACT? So in regards to bringing in email history, we will only be able to go 90 days back. So as you connect your email to Nimble, we will only be able to grab the 90 days of history and then everything going forward. And in regards to the opportunity info, I would need more information about what fields exactly you would want to bring into Nimble. But basically, any information can be imported, if not into an existing field, you can import it into data fields. So if you have different nodes, we are not currently able to import directly into nodes, meaning your nodes from different CRMs won't show under this tab, but you could also create, let's say, a tab called ACT, and then create all the custom fields that you currently have in ACT, and the information would be imported into them, and then you will be able to also segment on the information. Stephanie's asking about nonprofit organization discounts. We do have a discount for nonprofits. Please email us at care@nimble.com, because I'm actually not 100% sure what the current promo is, but we do offer some. So it's care@nimble.com and our team will definitely let you know. Jonathan's asking, to import context from HubSpot, do I have to do it through a CSV file? And will it save and replicate the HubSpot custom fields I previously created? Jonathan, you can actually do it using PySync. So you would go to Networks and Imports, under Context, you can select HubSpot, and then you will have 14 days to do everything for free. And then if you would want to keep these two CRMs in sync, then they would be, if you would be syncing more than 2,000 contacts per month per user, there would be a charge associated with that. But if you just want to use this to transition from HubSpot CRM into Nimble, you can use PySync. And as you connect your HubSpot and also Nimble, you'll be able to set up rules. We'll not be able to automatically create the custom fields for you. You would have to create them manually. So you would go to Settings and Data Fields, and you could either create a tab called HubSpot and have all the custom fields from HubSpot here, or you can name it something else and just make sure that the custom data fields are named exactly the same way as they are in HubSpot, or they can be named differently, but on the import, you will just have to tell PySync how you want to sync it. So you'll be able to set up the rules. So this might actually be much faster and easier. I also have a question about duplicates. Does it suggest duplicate contacts from different sources? Yes, so we will automatically be merging duplicates based on their email address. So if the email address is the same, we will automatically merge it. In regards to companies, we will be looking as the company domain as the unique identifier. As you're on the company or personal record, you can click on the three dots here, select Find Merge Duplicates. And if there are duplicates, we will show them here and you'll be able to merge them. When you're on the web using the Nimble Prospector extension and there are duplicates, Nimble will automatically find them and allow you to merge them. So in regards to Vivica, I could select these two duplicate records, click here, select the primary one and merge it. Osvaldo's asking how to create your name and photos inside the email. So when we go back to Nimble, under group messages, I'll create new group message here. You'll be able to upload photos by clicking here from your computer. And then if you want to make sure that we are adding your email signature, you can go to Settings, Email Settings. Under Email Signature, you'll be able to copy and paste it here and make edits. So you can either create it or copy and paste from an existing one. Jonathan, when you send a group email and you also send it to individuals outside of the group at the same time. I might be missing part of the question. Group message email and you also send it to individuals outside of the group at the same time. Yeah, if you can explain exactly what you mean, it would be great. Thank you. Michael's asking, what is message field in contact record? So in the contact record, let's go. Under interactions and under messages, I believe that's what you're asking about. This is where you can see the history of the interactions you've had with the individuals or companies on email or on Twitter. So we will, as you connect your email to Nimble, we will go 90 days back and also save anything going forward. So you can actually review the communications you've had with these people under the message tab here. Jeffrey's asking, do you have integration with Good Shuffle Pro? I'm not familiar with this, but we can go under here. And so it doesn't appear so. I'm not familiar with what the application does, but it doesn't look like we have a direct integration with them. But you might still be able to, as long as it's an online app, you might still be able to use our Nimble browser extension and open it up in the app to create new company records or access existing ones. Michael, I assume company records are created and linked to all new contacts for the company. Yes, so if you're importing from a CSV file or if you're creating new ones, we will give you the opportunity to link them with existing or also give you the opportunity to create the company. So then as you start typing, they'll already be suggesting you from a list of existing companies. Jonathan, when I'm in a contact and need to set up a follow-up reminder, is there an easy way? The way I seem to be doing it now seems to be a bit clunky. I click on schedule, name a task, specific date from drop down, then choose date and time, hoping there might be an easier way. So this is actually the only way right now. So yes, you are doing it correctly. You will click on schedule and then select the specific activity and set it up. The only other way, and I'm not sure if it's any easier, would just be creating it from the places where you're working, so you don't have to go into the contact record. You can, on the today page, you can click on create task and then just associate it with a specific contact record without having to go on their contact record, or you can also do it on the Nimble extension. But you are doing it correctly. There unfortunately is not an easier way to do it at this point. Second question, I was not aware of the remove contacts feature. If I remove a contact from the primary list of contacts, will they remain in the remove field forever if I never delete them? So in settings, let's actually review it. So let me see. So maybe under my account, let me see, we just made some changes here, so bear with me. Maybe it will be under billing, manage users, advanced settings. So you as the account admin, and I can't find it at this moment, you will be able to set up how long you want the removed contacts to stay there. But I'm not sure what happens if you don't set it up. There might be a default. So if you don't mind, please email us at care@nimble.com and our team will definitely be able to answer it for you. Ramesh asking, thank you for a great session. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. How often do you need to import your contacts from, say, Gmail, or does Nimble do it for you in the background? This is a great question. So depending on how often you're adding them, you can either use the integration with PySync and have your Google contacts or Outlook contacts sync bidirectionally automatically. If you'll be syncing less than 2,000 contacts per month per user, it will be free. If you go over that, you will have to pay. But let's say you are not adding too many contacts to each of these lists, you can just update it manually by running the import contact here, applying a tag, and you can do that for Outlook as well. Maybe you can do it on monthly basis or weekly basis, again, depending on how many contacts you are adding. This way it will be updated manually for free. We will not be doing it in the background automatically unless you utilize PySync. And just to make sure that you know, we will automatically merge the duplicates for you, so you don't have to worry about creating duplicates if you do it this way. Michael, any special LinkedIn subscription needed for contact lookup? So this is actually not related to LinkedIn at all, you are inside of Nimble, in case you are referring to the segmentation, you will only be operating with the contacts that you are using. And this is actually what I think you're referring to, using the browser extension on the web. So we are not integrating with Nimble whatsoever here. So basically what Nimble is doing is that we are reading whatever is written anywhere on the web, including LinkedIn. So this is not related to any LinkedIn subscription at all. We're just basically reading what you're hovering over, and then we are using our own software to create the contact record. So this is not grabbing it from LinkedIn. Keith's asking, will the Google Calendar and Office 365 calendar sync, or are there two different views? They will sync automatically. From the moment you add them to Nimble, we'll sync them automatically. Cindy, we are a public affairs firm. What social listening tools would you recommend? So internally, we have used Hootsuite and also Agorapulse for social listening. So if you're interested in making sure that you are not missing any conversations anybody might be having on social media about your services, or if you want to make sure that you're looking for specific keywords, I would recommend Agorapulse. This is actually their site. So they're a social listening tool. And there's also Hootsuite that is pretty well known. So depending on the individual features you would be utilizing and the pricing, I would pick between Hootsuite and Agorapulse. Karen, if I want to use this for a couple of different businesses, should I set up my own account? And if so, is there a way to share one project with another Nimble user? Yes, if you want to use it for a different business, I would recommend having two separate Nimble accounts, but then you won't be able to link them in any way. So if you decide to go this route, this would be the disadvantage. Those two accounts would not be communicating with each other at all. If you decide to basically use one Nimble account to run two businesses, then the downside would possibly be figuring out how to separate the contacts and not messing them up. But also, if they're on the same account, you will always be able to share project with any of your team members. Michael, any special permissions needed to run Outlook desktop? No, you should just be able to connect it in networks and imports. If you run into any issues, please let us know at care@nimble.com and we will help you out. Stephanie, when do you think workflow will be an option? I actually don't have an ETA yet, so I'm not able to tell you at this moment, but that's something that we do have on our roadmap. Jeffrey, what is the upgrade option? I'm not sure what you're referring to exactly. So if you can clarify that, please. Michael, are there limits on the number of group messages for or enrichments? Yes, great question. So when you first register for Nimble, you will have 100 messages per user per day. It will reset on at midnight, and for additional $10 per month, you will be able to purchase additional 100 messages. And also for the enrichment credits, let me actually find the support article. So on the basic Nimble plan, you will have 25 credits per month per user, and then you'll be able to purchase increments of 100 for additional $10 per month per user. Hannah, is it possible to connect your email Outlook to allow access to contacts through Outlook, but not import contacts? I only want a specific set of contacts, not everyone's contacts in the CRM. Yes, you can just connect your Outlook, but not import any Outlook contacts. That's 100% possible. So if you're in networks and imports and you go under emails, let's say you select Office 365, you can just deselect the contacts option and we won't be importing any contacts. Can you schedule messages to be sent to contacts over Instagram, Facebook, or LinkedIn? No, we are not able to do that in S. We are only able to do so for Twitter because Twitter is currently the only social networks that allows us to work with them. We used to work with all these other guys, but they decided to close their API, so it's no longer possible. Ramesh, about going back 90 days, do you mean that Nimble will only import contact details from your Gmail account from 90 days back? In regards to the history of emails, yes, we will only bring in the 90 days of your email history, and then we will also save everything going forward, but we will only be able to go 90 days back. Jonathan, sorry, I mean you can also send a group email to others outside of the group individuals at the same time. I'm still not 100% sure what you mean. So the way group messaging works is that you can pre-select the group of people you want to send a group message to outside of from inside of Nimble. You can also add them in manually, and they can be internal, external. You can definitely use this to email your team members. You can basically email anybody you have an email for. And the limits will depend on the upgrades you have purchased. So if you're on the basic Nimble Nimble plan, you will have 100. If you spend $10 more, you can purchase 100 more messages. And I would also recommend, please specify your question and send it to us at karenimble.com, just so we're sure that we're answering it, because I'm not 100% sure that I understood your question. And now I would like to thank everybody for staying almost 20 minutes overtime. We are available Monday to Friday at care@nimble.com, answering questions all day, every day. We have a webinar tomorrow about value propositions. So if you're interested in that, register for that. We will be sharing a link and also sharing the link in the follow-up email we will send everybody. And next week, I will be focusing on contact organization and cleanup strategies in my next webinar. So thank you again, and I hope you'll have a wonderful rest of your day.